This is my 42nd birthday weekend. I actually turn 42. Well, I turn 42 on Monday, which is tomorrow. But I kind of celebrate the birthday through the weekend, which really just means 2 or 3 nice meals. It's been kind of half a nice meal so far. We're going to a restaurant tonight to hopefully make at least 1.5 nice meals out of 3 meals. And just reflecting. But I've been recording podcasts over the weekend as well. I recorded a regular Model Rail Radio, which I'm nearly done editing, but I also recorded a Stone Ape with Heron Stone on Friday night, which was an interesting recording. I don't think if you'd asked me 6 months ago whether or not I'd record a Stone Ape, I would have answered particularly positively. What's actually happened is that I've gone back through the Stone Ape recordings and I'm creating transcripts of a small number of them. And this interested Heron Stone. He got back in contact with me and he said, why don't we record a reunion? And I wasn't going to say no. I mean, my perspective is, it's 2 years ago now. What happened, we can work through it in a civilized sense. And actually, it was quite fun chatting with him. I mean, we didn't talk for a long period of time. There was a lot of mic noise and stuff coming on his end, which I just found really frustrating. And listening to the audio, it is pretty frustrating audio to listen to. But the nature of Stone Ape fans, the fan base, is still a group of people, right? Who are still happy to hear more Stone Ape audio. And although we didn't do Stone Ape formally, it was more a catch-up and just a general sense of what things are going on in both of our respective lives. It was a friendly conversation. I mean, my view leading into this was it was probably going to be relatively depressive associated with the stuff that I've done in the past couple of years, or at least the past year or so of my life, because I don't feel my trajectory in the past year has been necessarily positive. I'm working through a bunch of different stuff on a whole series of different levels. I talked candidly about the IRS situation with Heron, but, I've got a lot of other stuff going on in my life currently, none of which is really podcastable. But, I'm looking for anything to work my way out of the funk that I'm in. I don't think it's a chemical thing. I don't think obviously low-light depression plays into it in a role, but it's just about me resolving a series of things. I mean, I'm sitting in my podcasting room looking around, and my podcasting room is one of the things I need to resolve. Looking around and getting a sense of just the amount of stuff, and I'm clearing a bunch of stuff out, but it was basically the last dumping ground from the electrical work, and I haven't spent enough time getting this thing back to a functioning room. So this is a representation in part of a bunch of other stuff, but I've just kind of collected stuff that I just need to get rid of. And that ultimately is a metaphor for a wide variety of other things that I'm working through currently. But recording with Heron was actually quite nice. I mean, I didn't feel any of the baggage. We certainly joked about the conclusion of the Stone Ape recording, and in particular the listener backlash that came from it. I mean, Heron was very accommodating, associated with why the hell do these people blame you for this thing, right? I mean, he said, I ended it, right? And he ended it. So, yeah, it was actually quite nice. I mean, he's going to send me his keyboard, which looks surprisingly like a regular keyboard. I mean, there are obviously elements to it to make it Heron Stone's particular keyboard. But with the amount of keyboard time that I'm spending currently recording music, I thought it was actually going to be rather fascinating. And I need to get an RS-232 USB converter to convert then into USB-C, which is an interesting set of things. So I'm going to have to buy a connector for this. I'm going to plug in headphones initially and just get used to what this thing means in terms of just general musicality. But I'm certainly going to play it and learn how to play it and do that as a project. And it's actually really quite fun that Heron has agreed to this thing. I mean, I sent him a chunk of change and he's going to use that for the sending of it. But it's very nice to have an opportunity to actually play this thing, because certainly over the 7 years of recording, he'd never even sent me a photograph of what the thing looked like. Now, he's given me a series of stipulations associated with the keyboard. I can't take photographs of it, I can't do video footage, there's no identification of this thing, I'm just going to learn how to play it. And that in and of itself is very curious, but I'm going to respect Heron's wishes associated with it, because, he's sending it to me. So you won't see any photos of this on Facebook, you won't see any YouTube videos. It's not going to be a public thing, but I'm certainly going to write music with it and see if it's better than a regular keyboard in writing music, and see if my performance is better through this instrument that Heron created as opposed to a regular keyboard. I've reclassified my brain for a majority of my life to play the regular keyboard. So I'm really quite interested in seeing what happens with me playing on this new thing. And whether, I mean, my productivity is pretty good, but if it can improve my productivity, I mean, if it's the equivalent of shorthand for, writing or a stenographer machine, then it would be truly amazing because it would really help me in my current perspective. So in this light, I'm really interested in seeing what happens with it. But it's again something I can't really talk too much about. Heron and I have agreed that we'll do a recording after I get used to this thing, and we could talk a bit more about the differences that I find playing it. But yeah, it's an interesting opportunity, and it's something actually very productive to come out of the Stone Ape recordings, even as an afterthought following a reunion special. So that I'm certainly very interested about. I mean, Heron's got a new thing that he's talking about associated with some land in Hungary and things like that, and it's not that I remain skeptical, it's that I remain skeptical, right? He's not met the guy, there's a bunch of other things associated with this thing. And, yeah, my view is until you're actually camping on the land in Hungary, let's see, But I was genuinely concerned about his health as well. I mean, the stuff that he says associated with his back and inability to move and all this kind of stuff is not good. So it was nice to reconnect with him. But as I said in the recording, we are not going to start a regular Stone Ape recording going forward. I think we've both moved on from that, and personally I have completely moved on from that. So my interests currently are with regards to hermit life and working on creative stuff within hermit life, and not within, doing something like Stone Ape was. But in terms of audio podcasts, certainly I'll continue with Long Funk. I'm going to continue with Model Rail Radio. I think Model Rail Radio has been an interesting constant through this thing. But other stuff, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard from Connoissance Bone. I haven't heard from Jay, so from attending her wedding. So my perspective is those podcasts are probably going to go their collective pod-faded way. But yeah, Long Funk will continue. I like this format. I like the idea of having a slightly extended view to talk about things. And maybe very rare occasional Stone Apes associated with very specific topics. Now, I'm more open to that than I've ever been previously. It was genuinely nice to catch up with her, and I think podcasts as a means of maintaining friendships is certainly the way that I look at Model Rail Radio. And I think that's the complete justification I have for Model Rail Radio, in fact, that this podcast is a series of friends that I've made, very close friends, that are important to me. And it's important that I continue to do this thing to mentor to these folk, to nurture them, to provide content that they enjoy. That's actually really very important to me. So although I might joke about making a little money through music and what have you, the importance of podcasts in terms of actual communicative, reaching out to people and creating important communities, I'm still 100% on board with that thing. It's just, it requires very particular participants, and I'm not really looking to do two-person podcasts in the near future.